tear rolled down my eyes because some of my friends that they myself rolled back together and I ain't laughing anymore because they saw us as animals. We were beating. Some of our friends are amputated. They have friends that can't ride back anymore because their legs have been amputated.
Who is Untitled Chapter, by the way, in the biking association?
Untitled Chapter is a purported reverend. Let me give you the history of this fake reverend. This Conde entered the sacred center to one of our friends.
And by the way, Untitled Chapter is the chairman of the Unity Party.
Yes, he's the chairman of the Unity Party. This fake reverend entered our center to one of our cyclists. They better introduce the brother to us as a reverend at a time when we were rescued from the useless party called the Unity Party. I'm sorry for that.
Let's watch the word.
But the irresponsible, let me say irresponsible. You as a man, you are father to your house, and you can't cater to your children. I see no other way to describe you besides these different words I can use on you. You have a party that can't pay their rent. How do I refer to them? You are not useful. And so let me go to the issue. Untitled Chapter was introduced to us in the sacred center by our friend John K. Working as a reverend, we saw him as somebody that could help us because.
And this is the K, by the way, who announced that bikers support Joseph Boakai, right?
I'm not discussing that joke. When cyclists want to endorse you, they will care you. They will go in your face.
Yeah.
Boakai got space for cyclists when they want to endorse. What do you take this setup for? And that's the reason why we are very clear that this election will be fully involved. Besides Motorcyclist, the 15 county is going to feed our impact. We are going to be doing county by county endorsement. And when we say endorsement, you will see it for yourself. See, you prefer 10, 15 cyclists together, carry them in Joseph Boakai first, and you think you can cajole the problem and say, do you know what it means for cyclists? Do you have space for us? We are tomorrow program. We are begging that some of them are telling us that everybody going to be there. We are begging that we're only using 5,000, and you talking about somebody. You thought that were introduced to us by one of our friends, John King. When you thought that entered our sector at the time, we were looking for refuge because of what we experienced during the LA government. So we were looking for somebody, like a brother who could come, and be a help to us. But guess what? The first thing the brother came, his ambition was to become the senator from Motorcyclist County. Yes, that was the first ambition. You were not at the time. You were not discussing the Unity Party. When I witnessed that, I didn't make no history in our sector. I was one of those that stood. The first time in the other was at Central when the police called. I talking about during our government now, the government, the real government, right? When he was introduced by our friend Kill as an acting partner, we were forming the federation now, right? He was introduced as the acting here. I said, no, he have no history of something. You don't know what it means for somebody to ride old motorbike. I rode old motorbike for more than 5 years. You go for the motorbike to the parking lot, you're waiting whether it will start. You have no history in our sector. You don't know how motorcyclists feel. You can be the hero of us. It's a clergy man. Go and do your gospel. But some of my friends talk to me and say, a yellow machine, we are looking for somebody that will come and help us. We're putting the thing together. I say, okay, I can't be the one standing in the way. When he want to help, then he come. Guess what? He came, he turned around in our hand. He demanded us for you to be signatory to our account. As I talk to you, Untitled Chapter is accountable to us. Untitled Chapter was expelled from our institution for corruption. They fake revenue. And that's the reason why.
For which institution?
The first federation that we funded, the fund to.
What is federation name?
It is the Federation of Motorcycle and Tractor Union that is now no more. Okay. Because of the same fake revenue. Revenue demanded us that he be signatory to the account. Revenue in debt, revenue owe us more than $2 million US. Revenue use our institution to source funding for international partners. Okay,
wow.
He use us to build that university. And if I had the opportunity, I would call that university down, be investigated. I tell you, I don't have the opportunity. So this revenue is a fake revenue.
Let's stick to the issue. Let's open the lines. 080-514-096. My man, the whole yellow machine, yellow machine.
I think so.
Yellow machine. I see you talking about this. Maybe they get in the yellow machine. It is. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name, where are you calling from?
This is Elisha Sama Sharif, and I'm phoning in from the WASH Commission on 18th Street, Finca.
Let's just go ahead.
Yeah, I like to appreciate your studio guest, and I like to run up on some of the attentions you guys made this morning about the president.
Okay.
I was born in Magui. I was born in the 80s in Magui. And today, looking at the road from right before my area around the ambush square to Snare Notice or around the Jogo area, you will know that the president is doing extremely well. Right before my village junction today, my village have food on the road directly to my village. My village is right at the ambush square where they got a market. Across the market now, you can find out we got pool going down the village. But I think the president is doing extremely well. And people around like you should ride it around him for his election. And I think we should give the right message. It is about time for our people to get the right message.
Okay, thank you. Let's move. Let's move on. Let's talk to this other caller. Good morning.
Good morning, brother.
Your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Jimmy from calling from Mambate.
Jimmy, go ahead.
Okay, related to the issue that I just spoke on when it is and the Unity Party. I used to work for one entity called Pure Marketing, sub-distributor for Nonstar, Orange, or GSM products. We were told by the Liberal National Police to obtain a permit that will last for 3 months. Every 3 months you renew it. Once upon a time, I hope everyone is listening. Once upon a time, in the evening, I'll try to be brief because it's a long history because the military guys.
Really brief. We get it.
Yeah. I came from Tuporo on my way to Single. I was almost like forcibly arrested by those guys, and I returned to it was on a Sunday. Just within that time, under the command of Ibrahim Command, those guys had knocked 1 minute on the motorbike because the motorcyclist stand down and knocked the one before it got ready for the LRA. Till the rest of my bike. No question whether this bike had something this and that tactic. It's on one element that single mention. He had it on the motorbike confiscated 2 years ago. I was going to the barrier.
No, we don't have that time. I'm sorry. I'm sure the point you're making,
Hello?
Is that you were
Hello?
robbed of your right. Let's talk to this caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Your name? Where are you calling from?
Okay, I'm Daniel Jalek calling from Luna County, People Surrounding District.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I want to say good morning to the studio guys here. I appreciate his saying in the place there, myself, I'm motorcyclist in People Surrounding District. And also, we want to appreciate effort and idea that he brought, he and his cycling. If they do so, they should attend in People Surrounding District, also Lorena County. They shouldn't forget what the county. So,
One more caller, and then get back to our guests, and then I'll bring in the next guest. But before then, we'll talk to LATIM. Good morning.
yeah, good morning.
Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Manuel. I came from FDA community in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Let me say thank you to your studio guys. Boakai, as soon as you got forever the morning to discuss concerning about the rescue where we go to a birthday to Fofana Hotel. You guys not only.
Yeah, but I think we talked about it last week.
So we the passport forever honest. You go to a birthday to Fofana Hotel.
Oh, you're the passport. I forgot about you.
Yeah.
But you know what happened?
No.
Your son coming.
We know.
Oh, your son coming. And you know that President Weah is the. Let me say this: the only person in the presidential race right now of the main contenders that is a son of Bassa. You know that President Weah, right?
Oh yeah.
He's the only person. He's the son of a Bassa woman. So all the other person, no presidential candidate has a direct representation of Bassa that President Weah has.
Yeah. So we waiting. We'll get a rescue team, red car. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Let's get back to Yellow Machine and then and then we close up.
And so thank you so much. To our bike riders, please, you gotta be at Chigota as early as 8 o'clock a.m. because we don't want to plug that, then we don't want to violate other people's rights. So we have already calculated the space, the 5,000 feet on our feet exactly. And so those of you that, because we got jackets for them, we got flyers and things. So those of you that may not be factored in the program tomorrow, please consider us, because we don't want to inconvenience you. You can join all the next phase, but this phase is phase 1. We will be, like I said, only 5,000 of you guys are going to be using, and tomorrow is going to be holiday, a bike riding holiday. Please, those of you that will be behind our people for report money, it is because the government are giving us the opportunity to ride motorbike. Like when you receiving report money, you could not buy the motorbike yesterday because you were being denied or going to certain places. We were restricted in the community confined right there. We were beaten. Our people were killed today. You have the opportunity to get report money on time because of this government. Please consider our people just for one day tomorrow. Please don't take report money for them. Tomorrow will be a motorcyclist holiday, and all cyclists are expected to be at Jacob Town Field at 8 o'clock a.m. for the president's program. Will be riding from Jacob Town Football Field, passing to Freeport, from Freeport Central, Monroeville, taking the Tottenham Boulevard, and we will finally arrive in front of SKD, where we have already communicated with the president office. We pray that the president be there, but most of the top government officials will be there tomorrow. Please come there in your number and come with good behavior, please. Don't, because there will be other people that will be there to carry the bad news about cyclists. But you come there in your best behavior, because
the media will be there. The media will be following.
The media will be there. We have invited the police. We invited everybody, all the different media institutions. You guys are invited to come there and see all display. The next thing we'll be doing will also be awarding 3 different separate cyclist groups. We have the best rider, where you see cyclists displaying their talents, playing different styles, and cyclists get talent. We will also be doing it tomorrow. We will also be awarding the best dressed cyclists. Okay, those cyclists that will observe the safety rule in your full gear will also be awarding that cyclist. And we also have some cyclists that can take as much as 20 bags of rest. You will see them display. They will tie it, and you will see it, because these are things our people go through in the leeward counties. Some of the places cars can reach, our cyclists are there providing services.
Yeah.
Our cyclists are used as amulets and in different capacity. So tomorrow program, it will be all day cyclist day. Tomorrow, please, I'm saying this again, release our people tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Don't take report money for them. They will not be reporting to you. We just appeal for only tomorrow, because it will be a national holiday for all bike riders. Again, please come with your good behavior. Chogo Virginia Gray Money, Alas Yellow Machine, your honorable national chairman for the Cyclists United for Ria's re-election. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was a powerful message from our young man. But we want to thank you. Some of us are going to be there tomorrow. To just see, and watch what will be happening, because it's going to be disproving all the lies about the cyclists for that person, because we know who the cyclists are grassroots. We know who they're affiliated with. Anyway, we still have Latin Dathong in the studio, who's been talking about the enormous progress in the education sector. But at this point, we'll call in the health workers to come in to just join us while we talk to Latin.
Representing Wim.
Yeah, representing Wim. Latin, you are enumerating quite a number of different construction. So I want us to focus on something our folks can say, you're increasing number, but you're increasing quality. Let's talk about quality a bit.
Quality, okay. And we talked about the 3 different sectors of the education. We started with access to equity.
Yeah.
The second one is quality and relevance. And then third is governance and management. So when you talk about quality, there's so much going on right now in the sector to guarantee quality. For example, as we speak, Boakai, we have provided professional development training for almost 5,000-6,000 teachers that are teaching.
What is professional development?
Pedagogy training, classroom management training. The most important, in our view, one of the most important persons that is the teacher.
Yeah.
The teacher controls the classroom. And if you have a bad teacher, you have a problem, because one bad teacher can contribute to hundreds and hundreds of bad students.
Students.
If you teach the wrong thing and every child takes the wrong thing, that it permeates, it keeps going on. So having quality teachers in the classroom is something we're focused on. But another major thing, Boakai, as we speak, we, under this president, we just brought into the country 1 million textbooks. Many of the textbooks arrived yesterday. We got 50 containers that have arrived in the country. Half of them are here. The other half will be arriving by Saturday. Starting next school year, every student in school in Liberia will have a set of textbooks for free. You're not buying textbooks.
Starting next school year?
Starting next school year.
From grade 1 to 12?
No, high school. We've started with high school and then we'll go down. So what we are doing now is, look, if you're in 10th grade, you pick up your set of books. At the end of your 10th grade year, you take your set of books back.
Bring it back.
Then you get your 11th grade set of books. So that that dress down mechanisms, so that every group that comes
dress by dress,
dress by dress, will be getting textbooks. So they only stop there. The books are also e-books. So we've also provided books to the private schools. We've provided not just student edition, but teacher edition for all teachers across the country. We're talking about over 7,000 schools will be receiving.
How many schools you got in the country right now?
About 7,000 schools.
Wow.
Across the country, we have about 7,000 schools across the country. Like I said, we have about 1.4 million students in school. We have about 60,000 teachers. When you look at public
and all of those teachers are on
the 60,000 teachers are public and private school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the percentage.
What about the public school?
In government school, we have around 27,000 teachers, and of that number, we have about 15,000 on payroll.
Okay.
When we took over, that number was around 11,000.
Okay.
But since this president took over, we have increased the number of teachers on payroll by about 4,000 new teachers added to the payroll, and we're continuously doing that. So about 4,000 new teachers were added to payroll since President Weah took over.
Something I want to ask you, I think your boss called in last week to talk about, we're talking about the high cost of graduation fees. And he said that you guys have set a bar, a threshold, right?
Yeah.
That you cannot pass for the coming school year. What you care to talk about that?
The threshold has been set for public schools.
Mm-hmm.
It's been set for public schools, not private schools.
Okay.
Again, private schools, as we've always said, it's a private school.
Uh-huh.
So schools most private schools charge what they charge, but we have said that when private schools are making decisions on these kinds of things, the PTA must be involved. So the parents of students in that school must be involved with the decision making when it comes to.
Let's talk about the threshold for the public school, because the public school will include the University of Liberia, right?
Yes.
Oh, we're talking about
no.
Secondary schools.
Up to 12th grade.
Okay. All right.
So that amount this year is around $75.
Okay.
So for private schools, the government have said that for private schools around here, you shouldn't be charging more than $100
for graduation fees.
For graduation fees, and for public schools, we should not be charging more than 5,000 Liberian dollars.
Wow.
So this is from kindergarten to 12th grade. This is not university level. So if you are running a school around here, that is the threshold again.
But that's remarkable development.
Yes.
Because some of the schools have been charging so astronomically that students can afford. That's been the thing that everybody has been talking about lately. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something that's very important for the public to be aware of. And we want PTA to be involved. Look, many of the schools should not be taking decisions without the PTA of those schools being involved, because it's your children that these decisions are affecting.
Yeah.
And it is very, very important that that you are aware of those things. Another thing that before we go to the health Boakai, we talk about relevance. What makes education relevant in the context of Liberia?
Mm-hmm.
We know that every single Liberian will not get a college degree. So what this president have done is also to provide opportunities for capacity building. As we speak, again, all TVET institutions across the country, and this will work in collaboration with the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Mm-hmm. All TVET institutions across this country has been renovated to modern international standards. We are now offering trade in more than 50 different areas. So if you go to the if you go to Lofarena, Vanjaman Modulator, you won't even believe what you see. I don't know if you've seen the pictures.
We've seen it.
You've seen it?
Yes, we're TVET connected.
You go to BWR, you go to KRTTR, you go to Maryland. all TVET institutions across the country.
Lati, you want to recap? Just we'll go to the health workers. You want to recap the number of schools that are being constructed and all of that, because we started that from the onset of the program.
Okay. When we talked about access,
yeah.
And again, going back to access, we said that we have, as we currently speak, we have 3 STEM schools being built in Liberia.
STEM schools:
science and technology,
science, technology, engineering, mathematics.
And mathematics.
Yeah.
One is in Magibi, one is in Pong, one is in Nimba. We have 18 ECE schools, early childhood education schools, being built across the country to accommodate.
That's 18 schools going up for early childhood
education.
18 schools being constructed.
We also have 25 junior high schools that are being elevated to high school. So the total number of schools that are being built and expanded as we speak right now is about 45. If you add the 18 plus the 25 plus the 3, we're around between 44, 45 schools being built and being expanded as we currently speak. And these things are ongoing. These are not promises that are coming. These are things that are already
Lastly,
ongoing.
I just wanted to ask you, there's this talk that, we made university education at the university library, other public universities across the country free, but it's not had much impact. I know for a fact that has led to an astronomical increment in the number of students enrolling. It came from 8,000. They were talking 18,000 last year. Now they're talking a possibility of having 20-some thousand or 30,000 students. That's huge. But tell us about other progress as far as the free tuition policy is concerned at the tertiary level.
Impact? If somebody said that free university is not having impact in this country, then I'm confused, because look, Liberia's best resource is our people.
Yeah.
Liberia will go as far as where the young people will take it. For our young people to take Liberia where it needs to be, then we have to build capacity. Building capacity, unfortunately, many families in this country cannot afford it. This president has afforded every Liberian the opportunity who wants a college degree to get one.
Yeah.
Just listening to the motorcyclists, I wanted to say something about President Weah is the true definition of an ordinary man that God has given extraordinary opportunities, and he makes the presidency
looks ordinary. He makes it look ordinary.
I won't use the word ordinary.
Yeah.
I will use the word as he makes it reachable,
accessible.
Every single Liberian. There was a time where people felt that the presidency belongs to the elite. President Weah have demonstrated that you can be president, you can sit with kings and queens, but you can also be in touch with every single. I've heard stories about market women, motorcyclists. I mean, about this president going to the most simple places to sit and eat. It is not something that he does because he wants to demonstrate that he's ordinary. No, it is in his nature.
Yeah,
he understands that God can bless you. But
look at that clip from Grand Coup where he was dancing with his people in Grand Coup, and there was not a single security guard.
That tells you.
And under that clip, I saw Sierra Leoneans commenting. And Sierra Leoneans were saying,
"Can't be the president.
This cannot be Madabio, because if it were Madabio, you are seeing 500 armed men around him." He said, "It cannot be Madabio."
He's not afraid or intimidated by the people.
Yeah,
I think he's more in love with them, and you see the best out of this president when he's with the Liberian people.
Yep.
When he's out there and when he's interacting with the Liberian people, is when you see the purest nature of President George Weah. It's a phenomenal thing. Not too many leaders. It is not something you can teach. It's not something you can fake. It is just a very, very. It's a gift, and Liberia should be proud to have a president of such.
Okay, so the reference made to the Sierra Leone president was basically what we saw on Twitter. On TikTok, that we are quoting.
Correct.
So these are not our words. These are the comments on TikTok that we are quoting. Secondly, the reference about ordinary and stuff like that. We know the presidency is not an ordinary thing. The president is an ordinary man who occupies a huge office or behaves like an ordinary. He's not an ordinary person.
No.
He's an extraordinary person,
Yeah.
who reached tremendous heights, but still behaves like the regular people, like an ordinary person. And he occupies one of the greatest offices in Africa, the president of Liberia.
And I think
still
that's
makes it
why
so accessible.
I think Boakai, that's one of the reasons why I believe that this president wins this election overwhelmingly. The people feel they don't just see him. Okay, they put it this way: they don't just see him as a president; they see him as a father.
Yeah,
that's very important. Exactly. Whereas some people just see the leader as a president, the ordinary young person in this country see George Weah as their father. And they can relate to him as that.
Let's talk to the health workers. So we're talking education and health on this platform today. So we've listened to the enormous progress made in the education sector. I want to bring Dathong back quite regularly to talk about these progress.
I'm with you every day.
Yeah. Honestly, I was marveled at the number of E schools that are being built, the early childhood education schools, 18 of them going up. He talked about 127 educational districts. Each of the districts have DEOs, district educational officers, but the government is making efforts to make sure that high school is in all of those districts. So they're building 25 of those schools. They're extending, to ensure that junior high in some places are extended to high school, but other places are constructing new ones. And he was just talking about the impact of the free education system and all of that. But there's something that came out during the course of yesterday, the last 24 hours. Health workers in the southeastern part of the country put out a press statement, or some health workers, people claiming to be in the leadership of the Health Workers Association, put out a statement calling on health workers to lay down their tools. That came out of the southeastern part of the country. People that were claiming to be leaders of the Health Workers Association. I understand it was Secretary General who probably must have done that. And some other folks were heeding, but the leadership of the Health Workers Association is of the Southeastern Health Workers Association is actually here. They're about to talk about, firstly, that didn't come from the leadership, but that also there's been some progress made since 2018 that I want to talk about. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Thank you.
Okay. Will you start by introducing yourselves first?
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Jack Abenengo To, and I'm from Grand Creek County, and I am the coordinator of the Southeastern Health Worker Network of Liberia.
Could you put the mic to you, sir? Okay.
Okay. So that is my part of introduction.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I'm Jesse Jacobs, chair on press and propaganda for the Southeastern Health Worker Network.
What's the president?
We have it as the chair.
Oh, you okay? Good.
Coordinator.
Yeah.
Oh, the coordinator. Oh, the coordinator is also the chair.
The chair, yeah.
Oh, okay, good. So I saw your counter press statement. Tell us about that.
Okay, thank you ever so much. Like I said, I am the regional coordinator for the Southeastern Health Worker Network of Liberia. Firstly, let me use the time to appreciate this opportunity because you have taken us some time to just leave from Grand Creek and all of part of the Southeast to make it noon come here for such a mission. The issue about the press statement that emanated some few hours ago, it came directly from the Secretary General and some other health workers who were purporting that we should come out with a press statement. Why it is true that the Southeastern Health Worker in our cycle, we have been discussing this since 2019. 2019, when this institution was established, 2020, we involved the government. And quickly, the government came in, and the government created a platform where we have to mitigate this issue concerning the health worker of the Southeast and that of the government on various plots that we presented at the time. But it was fortunate for us they created the opportunity. We came out with a steering committee. That committee was comprised of Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Health, and the CSA. When those committees were established, the committee reviewed and analyzed our consent. And they told us very clear and loud that, yes, we have received your blood, we have received your consent, but there are other in this concern the government will not be able to address now. But what we can do, and in those concerns, that number one, we were talking about frequent deduction of salary. It was one of the concerns. Another concern was irregularity of salaries. Another concern was staff attrition. Another concern were people were receiving constant deduction on limited money they were receiving from the various banks. So when all of these points were put forth, the government said, yes, it is true, but we can start at this. So when we created the issue about the steering committee asked the Ministry of Health to come out with the total database of those who are in the system, who were like making little money. We could talk about salary disparity. So they came out with 2,008 persons across the 5 counties, the Southeast County. And those database were shared with us because we were part of the steering committee. So with that, government said, okay, since certain group of people here making below this, we will augment those people's salary from below $80, below $125, below $200, up to $450. That was the category. People were making below $80. Those people were brought from $80 to $200.
Between 2 to...
Yeah. People were making $125. Those people were brought from $125 to $250. And those who were making $200 were brought from $200 up to $300. Those who were making $300 were brought from $300 to $450. That was the benchmark the government said. And we raised another issue about SAR insurance company. We said about what would be the significance. We are in the Southeast. In fact, government is giving free health services.
So you want the health workers to be insured?
Sure. The issue about the insurance was instituted and were incorporated. But we said we in the Southeast, we are receiving free health services. What would be the essence of this? And we're getting this deduction from our salary and we're not feeling the impact. So we want the government to call the SAR insurance and for to analyze how are we paying our money and we're not receiving the benefits. That will handle it. And we also talk about another issue has to do with NASCOP. We pay NASCOP taxes, but we don't have no identification. So this issue was raised. So after the steering committee was still out, they told us, so we can work on this NASCOP issue, we can work on augmenting those health workers' salary, and we can work on some other things. But what we would do, those who name had not been captured, because when they published that listing, we took it back to the leadership, and other people named who were in the system were not part and parcel of the listing the Ministry of Health published to us. So the government told the steering committee told us that what we would do, go and get those who are already in the system and their name had not been mentioned. We got the listing and we identified. We published the listing to the steering committee and we appealed. We suggested to the steering committee, since it is this, what we want to do, we want to carry on an independent verification. And the government filled us. They gave us laptops. The steering committee gave us 2 laptops and they filled us with some money. And we went by. And that was last year in August. And during the time, the government augmented those salaries for various health workers. It started from April to July.
So in other words, some of the concerns of your colleagues in the Southeast are already being addressed.
Yeah, the government has started working towards it.
Yeah.
So from that time up to this year, January, we were then again in a leadership meeting saying, but since then up to this time, government said after the verification, we have submitted data to the government has not yet getting back to us. I will be the leader in our favorite chat rooms. I start talking to them. We have said it. Government already started engaging in solving some of these concerns we have raised. Let us be patient and engage this government in a constructive manner. But coming out with go slow will not solve no problem. In May, the 22nd of May, if my memory can serve me right, there was another press statement in our card. But we tried to remediate the press statement in our chat room. We said, no, this is not the time for us to come out with go slow. Government already started answering to all of our problems, and we have built a smooth and cordial relationship. For instance, like all other government, this government was very open. They created a platform where they came up with a steering committee. They have other people on this committee. We are relating to them and they are relating to us. So let us be patient. Wait. We are still engaging government. In the most recent time, in April of this year, we were called by the steering committee. I was out of Motorcyclist, so I allowed the vice chair for administration, who is David J.D. from Maryland County. He came to attend that meeting on behalf of the institution. And in that meeting, they were told in that meeting that the steering committee said, we have heard all of your concerns from the different health institution, and we learned that government already started to engage.
Okay, so in other words, Mr. Coordinator, you don't back the press statement from your colleagues in the Southeast, right?
Yes, this press statement came under the pretense that it was discussed, but it was not finalized. You getting me?
So in other words, you are generally aware of some of the concerns, but you didn't agree that there should be a protest because you know that the government is addressing some of these concerns.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So all of a sudden, receiving this press statement in the media, it was shocking. While we are Secretary General, who is part and parcel of leadership and understand the trend of administration, we bypass. In fact, if you do a clear analysis of that press statement that we released, you will know that there's no signature.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
There's no signature. So
I saw signatures on yours.
Very good. All of a sudden, we just saw the press release in the media. So to counter without to this press release before going back to status quo, we have to clear it down because the expectation of the people, like in our past, go slow, it has created serious pandemonium. So to clear the doubt, we have to come up with a counter press statement and go back to status quo to say, no, gentlemen, even though we are in support of this, but this is not timely. And more besides that, boy man, we all know the history of elections in Liberia. We are going to a critical process. Critical elections in Liberia, where Liberia will be at the point of transition. So this has been our argument in our various chat rooms. The government started negotiating with us. They have started solving some of these problems. You cannot come up with a go slow at this 11 hour where we are going to a critical process in Liberia. And it will be sounding in the ears of all the people that there's undermine us. People have been stereotyped or they have been handled by some other political parties. We don't want to go that route. So we were saying from the best way.
Yeah, because we might be wondering why you didn't protest last year. Why you didn't protest the year before? Why are you protesting on the heels of elections?
Why this time? So we say, let us go through the constructive process that we have already started and they have given us green light. I believe this government, this steering committee is working on our behalf to remedy that.
But you the chair. You have the ability to shut it down, right?
Yes. Yeah, so this is why in order to get this press release that was released under the acquiescence of the Secretary General, non-evolved, because we are 5 constituent members.
Okay. Let's get to the PR.
Let me just conclude. Okay. 5 constituent members on this leadership. And ourselves as the head. So if you look at our leadership structure, you have people from Sino, people from Maryland, people from Grand Crew, people from Grand Gila, and people from River G. How would this Secretary General, unauthorized, they come out with a press release without the leadership, the 4 bench of the leadership, technically making the decision? So we feel in our mind, he has been stereotyped. So it undermines the credibility of our institution. In fact, people look out not being serious.
Yeah.
So quickly, to clear the doubt, we have to come up with a counter before going back to anti-status quo.
Mr. Pierre, would you care to just highlight some of the stipulations in that counter statement that you made? And let's get it clear. You want to tell the health workers that there is no such go slow action, right?
Basically, we stated in our press release that the health workers should get back to work.
Okay.
They should continue the work. There should be no go slow action. We don't support it at this time because we observe that other people want to politicize it. While it's true, some of us we're not part and parcel of this government, but we have to do the right thing. And doing the right thing will lead us in the right direction. So in our previous conversation, we had members of the health workers raising concerns that the leadership are getting some tip from national government, of which they want us to ensure that if we want to clear our side, we have to come out to ensure that the go slow action hold. So I told him, I said, no. So the SG contacted me here and I work together. So I told him, I said, well, SG, we can do this at this point because we have started a basic, and this government have been magnanimous to us, by giving us the opportunity to get on the round table to find some solution to the problems. So we cannot just come up with a press release or authorizing our people, not to go to work. Because if we do that, we're trying to, destroy, or people will lose their life, of thousands of persons will lose their life. So we cannot do that. So he said, no, but people are saying, oh, we're eating money. I said, but you get mad that you are a leader. So now you make critical decision. And that's a fact. You have seen it. You've seen the reality. So we did the independent verification. Government provided 2 laptops. And we did the independent verification, send it back to government. And even in that, the SG, even after the verification process, he did not bring the entire listing back to the executive leadership for review. Oh, yes. So he very fast to act. He took immediately on the media, posted, went all into the committee chat room where we had the ministers and the view. But after that, it backfired. Why? Other people need what considered as ghosts. Because you get identified by John Brown may be in some village, very quiet, you don't know. So we have to write, again to say, oh, these people have to be reinstated. And that was a serious issue in the counties.
We will open the lines in the next minute for like 3 minutes and then close up. But just go ahead.
Yeah. So that was a serious issue in the counties. So we are saying, at least if you look at our press release, we talk about government, having to adhere to some of our issues that we raise, increase, and able to at least amend health worker salary to a minimum, and they also understood to incorporate other volunteers, health workers. That's what we're even working on. According to them, we had a meeting. And they say, okay, gentlemen, we understand, but it's a gradual process. We can do all in one. So the next thing they did, they were able to contact SAR and say, okay, yes, we understand. The best solution is saying there is no, because if you look at Grand Crew, there is no private hospital. So if I'm benefiting from SAR, and you're doing constant deduction, and at the end, I'm not benefiting my child sick, and I get my family on our side. How do they go to the hospital? You know, like government hospital.
Okay, let's open the line. 080-514-096. That's 080-514-096. We have the Health Workers Association of the Southeast. They are discounting in fact, they're saying there's absolutely no strike happening in the Southeast. These are the people of the actual leadership. They say the Secretary General acted on his own. He acted arbitrarily. They are telling you that while they may have some concerns, but those concerns are being addressed. So they don't think this is the right time to have a strike action. So that's what they're here in the studios. The studios tell us. Let's hear your reaction to that. And okay, call us on the other number 0886-561-537. That's 0886-561-537 or 0770-728-893. 0770-728-893. 0886-561-537 0770-728-893. Those are the numbers. We're having some problems with our phone lines. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name, where are you calling from?
I'm Willie calling from Brother Coffee.
Well, you go ahead.
Okay, I want to say thank you this morning to the studio guests, and I believe this is how the guys they are very proactive because if they didn't come up to give counter statement, the people would have taken it to be that they are all in support. Because looking at the situation, I think what the Secretary General did has some political influence. Because if you check here at GFK, one time we went to GFK with the hospital, they help people are too political these days. Issues are supposed to be handled by their bosses. Everybody getting involved in politics, so I want to take those guys and still there because they're looking at it from the political point. Why did they do it 2 days to election and want to do it? So there are some other people that behind the influencing them to make sure that they want to look at the government ugly and get all stress. So because after that, the next thing you will see, it will become teacher. After the teacher, you will see they will go down until all the things start happening. So let them work because even when the government talking to them, they start. Yeah, good morning, bro, Boakai.
Yeah, good morning.
Towards the second. I'm calling from Harper, Maryland.
Yeah, Cyrus, go ahead.
All right. Let me say thank you to your studio guests and thank you to you for hosting them. I want to appreciate them for the level of thinking in terms of saving lives. I know that things are difficult in terms of economically getting what they're supposed to get, but what matters is that the oath that they have taken in terms of being committed to save lives in this place. And with that said, the government also should see reason to look into whatever is their disenchantment in terms of on the other side, the people try to say they want to disengage from the process.
Okay, thank you. We'll take our last caller and then close up. Okay, if there's none, then we'll just take your parting comments and then close up.
So, relative to our points we have just made, like I insinuated from my previous statement, that it is, yes, it is true that the Southeastern Health Worker within our circle, we have been having a lot of problems, but government try hard to engage us, and government have worked to most of the plow, and they are still working. The most thing that remain that is very sticky, our data we submitted from our verification. Government told us, yes, indeed, we receive your data, but we are awaiting physical space, so we can incorporate those volunteers you have identified to enroll them.
But meanwhile, we've done some increment in the meantime. So let's talk to the PR.
Okay, thank you so much for affording us this opportunity. Let me use your platform to encourage my people. The Southeastern Health Worker, we are there for you. We cannot backslide. Let's just respect authority. And, you know, the chain of command matters. We cannot just do things the wrong way. Let us go to work. We took oath to save lives. So while it's true that things are not 100%, we are still engaging in government authority to ensure that our plans are met and we'll have a 100% increment I really want to get. Thank you so much.
LATIM?
Yeah, let me just say again, thank you for the show, Worker. I think through the We Are Intellectual movement, we'll be going out there. There are litmus of things that we didn't cover today that we will be covering on the road and making sure the Liberian people are aware of some of those things. One of those very critical things, let me just touch on something for 2 seconds. This is new in Liberia, especially in the education sector. For the first time in the history of this country, Worker, every high school in this country have female guidance counselor. Yeah. And what we've seen is sex for grades have reduced. It's never happened before. This has happened under the WEA administration. We are now licensing teachers and making the teaching profession a professional institution in Liberia. Never have that happened before as well. But there are so many things that we didn't cover today. But we will be on the road through the intellectual movement. We'll be covering them and making sure that the real information is brought to our people as it relates to all of the things that make it worth Liberia's while to re-elect this president for another 6 years. Thank you.
Daniel?
Yeah, so let me just conclude by saying thank you to our studio guests, the two sectors, the motorcyclists and the health workers. Until next Friday, it was a good edition today. Thank you very much.
Well, that's all the time we have for this morning's edition of the show. Today we talk about a variety of subjects, the education sector, the declaration of support by motorcyclists under the aegis of the Cyclists Union for the re-election of the president. Thousands and thousands of motorcyclists going to be declaring the support for His Excellency on tomorrow. And then we had the leadership of the Southeastern Health Workers Association here, denouncing call for a strike action by the Secretary General, the coordinator and chairman, along with the PRO. We're here to denounce that. Join us again next week for a brand new edition of the show. My name is Boakai Fofana. I am the Deputy Minister for Technical Services.